Well, here we are out here, 7th day of February. I was walking along the ditch here, and I looked down and I seen something that I thought was blood, and I'll share it with you here in a second. You see it right there. I don't know whether a small animal was killed there or not, but that's pretty fresh blood. And on further investigation, and I could look down in the ditch. This ditch leads down to the clover field, and I can see white residue, white hair down there. So we'll go down there and see what this is. Yeah, this is the ditch I put a tube in a couple years ago. That tube's probably 100 yards south of here. Boy, it's a nasty path through here. There's hair all over the place down in there. Bear with me on the camera work, cause oh yeah, something big time died down here. You got hair clear up in here. Don't quite understand that. You got hair up here, way up here. I don't know whether they drug it down the hill or what went on. You can see a lot of sign here. Oh, the things you run into. Just had a subscriber ask me if I. Oh boy, there's a lot of blood right there. That's real fresh blood. Yeah, that's bright. That blood's still wet. Yeah, it's not even dried out. That's only hours old. I don't know what went on down here, but it looks like something bobcats or coyotes. And I was going to say, I had a subscriber ask me if I do any predator control. Well, here in southern Iowa, them dang things are so spread out. I know a lot of people down here. I personally haven't killed any of lately, but I know a lot of people do. And I said there's guns going off almost 24/7 down here. Oh man, I know now. Oh, that's a brand new. Oh, that's brand new guts in any. Of course, it didn't freeze last night, but the birds never even carried that away. Where did the body go? Oh, okay. Here's a piece of something. There's a piece of the rib cage. Yeah. Yearling deer. That's not very big. Small bone structure. Well, wonder where the rest of the carcass went. But they really tore this thing apart. Don't look like it went up that hill. There was some off over here. Maybe he drug it off in this way. There's, what is that, a bone chip? Yep, piece of bone. Coyotes. Yep, went up through this way. Drug it up through here apparently. Well, I'm standing right here where this hair is. It's like, and that bone chip was right there. We'll walk on up here and see if we can't find the remains of it. That's a fresh kill. Fresh kill. Get up here high on this knob. See if I can't look down in these hollows in this ditch. They must have picked it up and carried it. I don't see nothing down in there. Still be quite a bit of it left. We're about, I suppose, 30 yards, 40 yards away from that remains, and I don't see anything. Nothing at all. No more blood. No more hair. Go down this trail. Follow the ditch. I don't know. Looks like I went the wrong direction. It must have carried the whole carcass with it. Whatever it was. Must have been a pretty good sized animal to carry that off. Well, much blood was back there. You'd think that would have been easy to follow. None on the ground. None whatsoever. This creek really gets going. Wipe that tube out that I planted in there. I knew it would. It wasn't big enough. Oh, well, I guess we didn't find a coyote, but we found what we were looking for. Oh, this is neat. That's a pretty nice shed. Where'd it go? Oh, right there. Real nice shed right there. Huh. Now, I ain't going to find that shed unless I found that whatever got killed there, which was a deer. But doing that, that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Like, yeah, what is it, 8-pointer? Yeah, I got an 8-pointer and a sticker. I probably got him on the trail cam somewhere. Well, here it goes. First time human hands touch this. Oh yeah. Yeah, hey. Not nothing overly big, but a shed nevertheless. And I wouldn't have found that unless I seen that coyote kill. Yeah, it sure is ironic how you run into these. Fall on a blood trail, or hopefully I'm still going to look for that carcass, and end up finding a shed, an 8-point shed. Cloudy day, windy, going to snow tonight, and getting cold. Now if I can just find that carcass, that'd make a perfect deal. Well, I better get after it. Yeah, I'm going to tape that tree off right there so I can come back later. As I'm still figuring out what happened to that animal and the rest of its body. So I get this and then I can come back and scout around in this area. It's really nice to always carry tape with you so you can mark the shed antler. And then, like I say, I'll come back and look for it. Well, this is the view from the other side of the ditch. Like I said, I just soon find the remains of that animal. And we came out here on this open field. That's where this trail went. And it amazes me. I've seen wolves in Canada eat the bones and everything. But that coyote must have been pretty hungry. It looks like a butcher shop right here. And like I say, I've seen up in Canada, we took moose carcasses out, and it didn't take them long to, you couldn't even find bones left of it either. But you can tell right there, like I said, that's what amazes me. That's the front part of the rib cage. And then we found that piece of bone over there a little bit. And here was that piece of bone. And this was the last blood. What was that? They really chewed that bone. But as we went up that trail, and we're tracking hair, it just disappeared. I think there would be blood or something on up through here, some hair. But as we went up there, we found a shed antler, so amazing. Totally amazes me. Well, we're back here on the 13th of February, and on the 7th of February we found that dead deer here. and it snowed since then. And I noticed the other part of the rib cage, that small part, it's gone now. And what really baffles me, I've seen a lot of coyote kills, but the body and the rib cage and neck vertebrae, the legs, the skull, and all that was at the site. And there's nothing like that. I mean, all that's here is hair. And I did some research on mountain lions, and it says that they possibly could drag it off and bury it, and sort of like what bears do. But I know we had one on camera down here a couple years ago, but it really, I've been looking and looking and looking. I can't find any place where nothing's been pawed up. It looks like it's been buried. I've looked up in the trees to see if the carcass was stuffed up in there, and to no avail. And like I said, I'm going to pan around here and show you the hair, but never had nothing like this ever. It just disappeared. And it's carried it out of here, and I've searched high, low. Never did come across the remains, like I say, the hooves, the legs. Well, unless it was wolves, you know, they might eat it, but it's not the nature of the coyotes down here. So I have no idea, but I just wanted to share this with you. Now I'm going to pan around and show you the hair. You've seen the blood last week, it was fresh. And so I'll just pan around here and show you what's left. Right there is the hair residue, and that's where I found that part of that rib cage and intestines. And that site's completely gleaned. And then here was another spot where they had it, and I can understand them dragging it. This is a mere 10 feet. And but like I said, I assume they drug it down this hill, because up on top of that ridge is where I found that blood, and I figured they drug it down in here. And I have never seen the consumption. Like I said, I'm at a loss for what happened here. Maybe some of you guys have seen this, and if so, make a comment on it, because I've looked all over. But, you know, and it's, I mean, well, I've walked at least a quarter of a mile away in each direction, and you know, that's all we found was this hair. The only good thing about this was we found that antler, and so I'll keep doing some more looking. But it really baffles me. I mean, I figured the carcass would be around here somewhere, and it's like gone. Well, he found this right along with me out here in the yellow grass. We're a good quarter of a mile out of the timber, out in this big slough ditch. And I'm going to pick this up. Oh boy, you can see it firsthand. That's pretty bloody. That's what I was looking for. Whew. That is a good quarter of a mile, easy. And that's about the size of what deer would have been took down. And it's in this overgrown ditch out here. Well, I tracked the hair out of that ditch, and it went across this open bean field, and apparently this is where it's got it drug off to, at least one of its legs, because like I say, that blood is pretty red. We found the first actual blood, what it would have been the 7th of February, and this is the 13th, and this would have been about the structure of the animal. And like I said, it's not been there very long at all. So we'll scout around here, maybe we can find the rest of the carcass. Persistence pays off. I never thought I'd ever find that.